Hello everyone, it's Northwest Cavalryman here, and today I'm going to be cleaning my Henry Golden Boy lever action 22 caliber rifle. So I had this out at the range a few days ago, and I was shooting it. It was shooting a little bit off to the right, so I ended up drifting the front sight over, and then bore sighting it, and it looks to be like it's going to be shooting right on now. I haven't taken it back out to the range, but the next range day will be the proof. So now I'm going to be cleaning it. First thing you want to do when you clean a rifle like this is you do have to take it down a little bit. You have to take the stock off, and with this particular rifle, you have to take off the cover, the action cover. So um, as you can see, there is a few screws that you need to take off. So the first thing you want to do is take off the buttstock. So on the bottom of the buttstock there is a wood screw. You want to undo that and take it out. Now it's going to become apparent fairly quickly why you have to take the buttstock off for to remove this action cover. And so you just unscrew this wood screw and set it aside. Now you're going to want to, once you get that off, you're going to want to flip the gun over, and you want to take off this screw on the top. Now this screw on the top is a machine screw, so it's obviously important when you put it back together that you have the right screw in the right hole. So take that screw off, and once that screw is out, the buttstock just slides right out, nice and easy. Now you're going to just put that aside, and you're going to have four screws to take off on the action cover. So take those off, and when you get them off, you'll notice that there is a little washer, and the washer has uh, it goes on a certain way. So, and you'll see when you take these screws out that the washer is one of those washers that kind of grabs and digs into the metal. So you want to make sure that it gets on the proper way. So what I do is take the screw out, take the washer out, put the washer back on the screw before I put it aside, so that I know that it's always going to be on the proper way. So there's four of these screws. Take them on, take them off, and set them aside. Once you get these four screws off, then you can slide the action cover off. And it's not that difficult to do. You do have to have the lever open just a little bit, and but the action cover should come right out. Inside the action, you will find that there is a bolt carrier. Now the bolt carrier comes right out the back. It slides right out the back, and so it's not that difficult to get out. Now some people think that you do have to take the forestock off, or at least loosen it, but you don't have to. This is all you have to do as far as taking down the firearm in order to clean it, or if you wanted to just take off the brass plate. So what I do is I use a product called G96. Now you can use any cleaner, lubricant protectant, CLP, or you can go the traditional way and use a a cleaning solution, solvent. I like to use the G96. It protects the metal. It is not dangerous to the wood. It actually is good on the wood. So I spray down the action. I spray down the bolt carrier. I even put a little bit inside the cover. And right now I'm just even spraying a little bit the on the magazine tube, inner magazine tube. At this point, I'm going to use a bore snake. I really like the bore snakes. They do quite a good job. Now, this is the new bore snake. I'm going to compare it to the old bore snake here in just a second. I've had this old bore snake for several years. It's becoming quite dark, and also the bristles are quite worn out. So I'm using a new bore snake. This is the first time I'm using the new bore snake on this for this particular cleaning. So what you do with this bore snake is there is a heavy metal or brass end to it. Feed it down into the breech of the firearm and feed it right through the bore. Once it comes out the other end, you're going to grab it and you're going to pull the bore snake all the way through. The bristles, the bore brush bristles that are on the bore snake will help to clean away all the particles that hopefully your G96 has been in long enough to loosen up, and then the rest of the bore snake will just clean off all the debris. Some people say you only really need to do this once. I like to give it about 3, sometimes 4 pull-throughs, sometimes even more. But a lot of people figure that's all you need. Now you can do this more traditional way by using some little bits for your cleaning rod. You can use a cleaning jag, which I have in my hand right now. You can use a cleaning bore brush, which is this is one of those. Or you can also just use a patch holder. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put a few patches on this patch holder. I'm going to run it through the breech end all the way down the barrel. Just more to test how clean it is and get it a little cleaner. So to do that, I need to cut some of these patches because they've come too big. As you know, the bore of a 22 is quite small. So I'm going to cut this into about 1/8 the size, just so I can fit it down the bore and not get it jammed in there. So I'm going to put the patch on the patch holder and feed it through the breech end. This will clean out any of the debris that's in there. Usually you would do this, if you're cleaning it the traditional way, you would do this after you've used the bore brush. Now, if you want a tighter fit to get even more debris off, you would use this cleaning jag. So this cleaning jag has a bit of a sharp end to it. Stick the patch onto the end and feed it through the breech end of the firearm. Once you've done this several times and your patches are coming out fairly clean, then you're done cleaning the bore. Now 22s are notorious for having dirty ammo, plus I was shooting lead, so you know there is a bit of lead fouling in there. Now that I've got the bore clean, I'm going to be cleaning the bolt carrier, just wiping it down with a rag. This rag I've used for cleaning before. Obviously you can see it's not completely clean, but it will do the job. You can also use paper towel, or you can just use any old shop rag. If you want to get it nice and clean and dry, just use a fresh rag. Now I'm going to clean inside the action cover. Now the bolt travels back and forth inside the action cover, so I want to get that kind of clean as well. Now with the CLP, the cleaner, lubricant, protecting, it actually treats the metal as well, and you don't really need lubricant after you've used this type of product. So I'm going to wipe it on down, and in the process I'll be wiping down the wood occasionally. Now that I've got all that clean, I'm going to start cleaning the action, and now I'm just going to take some Q-tips and clean inside the action. I could use a nylon brush or even a copper brush that you can buy at any gun store or order online from any of the online gun suppliers. And but this isn't really dirty enough to go to that extent. I've only shot a few rounds through it, determined that it wasn't sighted in properly, and decided I was going to sight it in before I did too much shooting. Now that I've got the action clean, I'm going to start to put it back together. So I'm going to take the bolt carrier, and for the bolt carrier you have to make sure obviously that you put it in the right way, and it's going to be fairly easy for you to determine that. It's fairly intuitive. The extractor is going to be on the front, of course, and then you'll notice that the rear of it kind of matches up to how it to the shape of the cover. So slide it in from the back, and once you get it in place, now you're going to slide it onto the action of the gun. So you slide it in from the rear, and you do have to get it lined up with the lever, but with the lever slightly open you can get it lined up fairly easily. And with the cover back on, now you're going to want to put all of those screws back in, and you're going to want to line those screws up, and try to get them in so that you don't have to force them, and you don't want to force anything on a gun unless you really have to, and if you do have to, it's just light taps only. But fortunately, this on this gun I don't have to use any force at all. Just screw them in, tighten them up. Now I want to slide the butt plate on. You want to get it on the right way. It's fairly intuitive. It's going to only go on one way. And the first screw you want to put in, it's going to be on the top. It's the machine screw, and it will fit almost right through the entire length or width of the stock. So go ahead and screw that on. Get that nice and firm. You don't want to over tighten, of course. And once you do that, you're going to flip it over, and you're going to put the wood screw in the bottom. Once you got the wood screw on, just tighten it right up. And once that has been tightened up, you're pretty much done. Give it a good wipe down with your rag. Whenever you store a gun, you should try not to touch the metal parts after you've cleaned it. But with this protectant, with this cleaner lubricant protectant, it's pretty good. You will have a little bit of a film on it unless you take some alcohol on some paper towel and clean it right down. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and thanks for tuning in and watching. If you enjoyed this video, please click like and subscribe, and you can find more firearms maintenance and training videos on my YouTube channel. So for now, Northwest Cavalryman, thank you very much for viewing, and I am signing off. Thank you very much.